fleeting words, but you have to look at it from the personal perspective, from the interpersonal perspective, and a collective rethinking. So personal wise, it says you need to learn how to open your mind up to new and diverse sources of ideas. If you become better at personal or individual rethinking, it will serve you well over the course of your career. If you cannot look back to, because the truth of it is this, and I think Pastor have said this again and again, you should be your own best, or if you want to say worst, critique, to be able to look at your activities, to be able to say, oh, I did this one right, I didn't do this one right, this one is, because if you can't review your own actions and activities in that view, then it means when other people point your attention to those things, it will be more painful. And you find out that people that don't look into their own actions themselves and judge. The scripture says, know ye not that judge yourself except you be reprobate. You understand? I will find out how that passage actually state it clearly, but that's the idea behind it, that you need to be able to assess yourself. Is that if you don't do that personal assessment, it's an indication that the individual is being a reprobate, is being someone that's not being honest with themselves. There's this saying in my language that you can deceive every other person, but the truth is you can't deceive your own self. Because when you are saying something that is not true, every other person may believe you, and they may not know that it is not true. But the reality is you yourself, you know what you are saying, whether it is true or not. So whether it is the right thing or the wrong thing. During the time we went to Nigeria we went in March. One of the services I attended, the minister, my pastor in Ibadan, she was saying that she had an encounter with some of these people that sell stuff in the market, and this was about cloth. And you know, I know most of the children raised there, they don't see that back end of how you go to the market to buy cloth and it's measured out for you in yards, right? That this individual that she met claimed to be a Christian, and what happened? As the person was cutting the cloth, he was actually quoting the Bible to say, no, I can't cheat you, man, because the Bible already says that God does not like unjust weight, blah, blah, blah. He was quoting all the Bible verses as he was doing the job. She bought about 3 or 4 different pieces of clothing material that were going to be taken to the tailor to be sewn. To her amazement, when she got to the tailor, none of the 4 or 5 different pieces was actually up to the length that they should have been. Because the way the guy was measuring it, he was measuring it to ensure that something was being cut back on each occasion. And this was the same man that was busy quoting the Bible while doing those activities. I'm mentioning this, that type of person, it shows they don't do personal evaluation. Because if you evaluate yourself at the end of the day, then you will know that you don't need to go into all those kind of activities because of the name that you proclaim. So rethinking on a personal level, rethinking on an interpersonal level, which is if you can encourage the people closest to you to think again more frequently, that will result in better and richer relationship. So basically what the author is trying to say here is you need to own this thing, then you can give it out, because you cannot give what you don't have. So what you now have, the ability to reflect, reflective practice now is saying what you need to extend that to the people in your companionship. And the third one talks about what? It talks about collective rethinking. And with the collective rethinking, the author is saying if you can create a community of lifetime learners, at your workplace and in your other social interactions, that can lead to some impressive step forward. So it's actually starting from you, because if you are going to change the whole world, it starts with you. The change you are not ready to experience is going to be difficult for you to what? To pass across to other people. When you speak, for example, who hears first? You hear your own voice first. You hear first. So that's the concentric arrangement that the author is using in approaching this personal level, interpersonal, and collective. Okay, so what's the structure around this now? When we are talking about personal rethinking, we are talking to be able to rethink effectively. You first have to open your mind to other possibilities. You have to open your mind to other